Are you coming up here, Chelsea, and then going down there?
I'm just going to stay down.
Okay. I have to ask.
Yeah,
I have to know strategies. So it is 6:01, and we're going to call to order the March 14, 2022 City Council meeting, and we are going to begin with a roll call, and I'll ask Jenny to take the roll call, please.
Walters.
Here.
DeBoer.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Vogel. Here. Sarchet.
Present.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and have item number 3, approval of the agenda. I'll ask for a motion.
We do have a correction.
Oh, yes. That's the correction under business items?
Yes.
Yes. So we do have a correction under item number 7, business items A. The amount listed on the agenda is $20,000, and that amount should be $19,426. Okay, so everybody got that, if they want to make that change? So then we will have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second. I hope that chunk comes out of Jeff's paycheck.
Oh, okay, under business items, that's right. Okay, and then I'll ask for a roll.
Walters.
Yes.
DeBoer.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Vogel. Yeah. Sarchet.
Yes.
Okay, item number 4, public hearings. It's time to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 22-23 budget. When was the notice published?
February 25th and March 4th.
Have we had any written comments for or against the proposed budget?
No, sir.
At this time, I would like to request any staff report.
Thank you. I'm just going to give a quick overview of the proposed 23 budget. So what we have put together for the council is a well-balanced budget. Total revenue for the budget is a little over $14 million. We'll say $14.2 million in revenue. And total expenses is $14,083,000. Of that $14 million, capital projects accounts for $3.8 million, which leaves us with an operating budget of $10.3 million. Of that $10.3 million, our biggest expense is salaries and benefits of our city employees, which comes in at $3.58 million. An overview of the projects that we have slated in next year's budget. We have an estimated $2.3 million for city facilities and a city hall parking lot. We will be issuing general obligation debt to pay for that project. $570,000 for the North 3rd Street Trail connection to outer city limits. This does include LWCF funding that the city has received in the amount of $75,000. This would be known as Phase 1 of the connection to the High Trestle Trail and is also identified in the city's capital improvement plan. We budgeted $20,000 for the Northeast Trunk Sewer Study. We've budgeted $800,000 for the roundabout project. The total cost of that project is $1.8 million, but that project is taking place over the course of 2 fiscal years. We have not budgeted for a water tower project and water tower painting project, which is identified in the city CIP. We will probably need to be doing an amendment for that, but details to come on the water tower at a future date. Some proposed equipment purchases. Police equipment, we have about $75,000 budgeted for police equipment next year. Fire department equipment, $135,000. $65,000 will go towards a vehicle and $70,000 will go to cardiac monitors. Public Works equipment, we are purchasing 3 larger purchases for Public Works next year. Single axle dump truck, estimated cost $200,000, and a case in loader and plow, estimated cost $100,000. And I have a pickup replacement in there, as you notice, that is on tonight's agenda. That is an estimated cost of $5,000. For staffing, we will be adding 2 full-time positions next year. We'll be adding a full-time public works employee, which is identified in the city staffing plan, and we will be adding a full-time paramedic firefighter. That's not identified in the city's staffing plan. However, that was highly prioritized by the council. We will need to do an amendment to that plan. The property tax rate, the proposed rate for next year is $11 per 1,000 assessed. This is an increase of 61 cents per 1,000 assessed. We've talked about doing an increase to the tax levy for proposed projects and future proposed city projects within the next 3 years. Something else that also played into that tax increase was our discussion of the residential rollback going back for fiscal year 23 pretty significantly. That's more than a 2%, 2 cent or a $2 decrease. I'm sorry. I do want to mention that Polk City still does maintain one of the lower city tax levies across the Des Moines Metro. Very, very low for a smaller community. Property valuations. We saw a 7% increase for our regular taxable valuations. So we increased from $283 million to $308 million for fiscal year 23. And our debt service taxable valuations, we saw an 8% increase from $319 million to $346 million. Any questions?
Just
Yes.
one, I didn't have a chance to go through all the stuff with the gas going up.
Mhm.
We assume have bid 7 or 8 gallons or dollars a gallon. Is there enough money for all the police cars, et cetera, et cetera?
Probably not. This budget has been done since January of this year. So with all of the requirements to publish for public hearings, we essentially have to wrap up our budget for January. So no, we have not taken that into consideration.
What contingencies do you have to keep everything and still be able to cover that?
I mean, that's something that we'd monitor and watch. If we would have to do a budget amendment for those line items, we can certainly do that.
Okay. Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
So I need a motion to close the public hearing and reopen the regular meeting.
Second.
Roll call.
DeVore,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Vogel. Yes. Sarchet,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Item I, under A, Resolution 2022-28, approving FY 2022-2023 budget. I'll ask for a motion.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
DeVore,
Yes.
Anderson.
No.
Vogel. Yes.
Motion carries. It's time to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing on the proposed urban renewal plan amendment for the Polk City Area 2 Urban Renewal Area. I'll ask, when was the notice published?
March 4th.
Have we had any written comments for or against the proposed URP amendment?
No, sir.
And at this time, I'd like to request staff to provide a report.
Mayor, I will handle that report this evening. So the proposed amendment to the city's urban renewal plan adds the following projects to the plan. The City Hall project, the MOVE project proposed by ACG Properties, and trail projects along Bridge Road and 3rd Street. The trail projects are existing gaps in the city's trail system. So the council is being asked tonight only to have the projects added to the urban renewal plan. I just wanted to make a note that approving financing for any of these projects will be reviewed and approved at a later date.
Thank you, Chelsea. Is there anyone present or on the phone in the audience who wishes to be heard for or against the proposed URP amendment? Hearing none, I need a motion to close the public hearing and reopen the regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Anderson,
Yes.
Vogel. Yes. Sarchet, Walters,
Yes.
DeVore.
Yes.
Under B, I, Resolution 2022-29 to approve urban renewal plan amendment for the Polk City Area 2 Urban Renewal Area. A motion, please.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Anderson,
Yes.
Vogel. Yes. Sarchet,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
DeVore.
Item number 5, public comments. This is the time and place for comments for any item other than those that are a public hearing. And Jenny, I'll ask if we had anybody contact us before 5 p.m.
No, sir.
Okay, great. And then we'll move on to item number 6, which is consent items, and I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda, and I'd like to pull the whole for discussion.
So we will, do we go ahead and take the second and then have discussion? Second with O removed?
Second, with O removed, I'll take roll call, and
Okay.
then you'll discuss O.
Yes.
Sorry.
Second with O removed. Roll call
Second.
vote.
Got it.
Second.
And we'll do the roll call vote.
Walters,
Yes.
DeVore,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Vogel. Yes. Sarchet.
Yes.
Number 7, business items.
Item O.
Oh, yes. We're going to just discuss item O, right?
Motion to approve first and then second, and then it'd be open for discussion.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve the removal of item O.
No, just a motion to approve the resolution initiating the request for proposals.
Oh, yes, that's true. So we do need a motion to approve the request for proposals.
Second.
And a roll call vote.
No, open for discussion.
Now vote. Okay.
Well, I've had a couple calls on it. Neighbors wanting to know what was going on. That's the main reason I wanted to get it in the discussion so they can hear about it, know what's going on, and understand why we're doing what we're doing. I personally think it should just go to the highest bidder, and we don't tell other people what they can do with their land. I don't think we should tell other people what they can do with this one, as long as it meets zoning. That's my feelings.
Well, I guess I disagree. It's our property. We have the right to decide what. I mean, this is refurbishing. I don't know that's the technical term, but I care about what it's going to look like as much as I care about the price. Actually, in this case, since it didn't require our investment, or maybe care a little bit more. Consider the money is found money almost, and to be as much of an addition for the folks around Waldo as possible. So, not just seeing the dollar amount and getting their input, if we have time to do that on those proposals, I think is valuable.
Don't we still have the ability in the building permit process to approve or disapprove?
Yeah, but why wouldn't you want to know that before they bought it?
I don't know. It's buy it now or buy it later. I mean, we still have the authority.
I don't think you have a building permit process, do you, necessarily for a residential home?
I mean, internally, like
Right.
administratively, we'd sign off on it, but the council wouldn't. I feel like I've had to learn this one the hard way. So for anybody in the audience or watching, the city has acquired 717 Waldo Street, and we are looking to sell the property, not just to the highest bidder, but to the best proposal. So that is why I have placed that in the RFP for consideration tonight. I think it's in the city's best interest to see that remain a single-family residential property. We obviously collect taxes off of homes, and it would be in our best interest to continue to see that on the tax rolls. So that's why I've placed it in the packet for tonight under the, or within the RFP. I've also put a minimum bid within the RFP of $85,000. The property is currently assessed at $108,000.
It would be similar to what we did on the previous property we owned,
Roosevelt.
that we sold with a price and a requirement of proposal. 504 Roosevelt.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that one up too.
Yeah.
So that one to me is a little bit different in the sense that literally anything would have been better at 504 Roosevelt. I mean, imagine the worst property would have been better. This isn't that bad, but still, you know, I mean, if you've got, the decision is gonna be A or B, and if one is significantly more money than the other, then that's gonna be tough to warrant, you know, going with the lesser amount. But I do think that it's a good opportunity for us to look at on behalf of the neighbors or with the neighbors directly what they want.
I agree with everything that you said, but I still, and I don't know, maybe this isn't the right approach and the right thought, but I feel that a developer or home builder is gonna have an upper hand as to somebody who wants to buy that, maybe build on it themselves, doesn't have the money to bid against one of those people, a developer or home builder or both.
So that's a good scenario to play out. Do we have the legal authority to weight a business versus an individual to paint with a broad brush on that, or is that an illegal?
It's more about the proposal itself, not the actual.
Okay, that's why I asked, right? So
Individual
what you're,
doing
if I
it.
understood you correctly, you're saying that someone who lives in the neighborhood, let's say, wants to build something there that has a connection or whatever, more so than what the actual proposal as far as the structure is.
Mhm.
And that's probably where it gets a little iffy, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends upon how it's presented. We build in flexibility into the RFP to give you discretion and to accept or not accept any of the proposals.
Yeah.
But I think you need all the things that are in the proposal in terms of what they're going to be doing with the property is appropriate to look at, but who is doing that is not.
That's what I figured, right? I mean, and that's not even in play, right? Regardless of how we word the proposal to decide, you know,
That you want
somebody
somebody in
with-
the neighborhood to get
right,
it. as
lived here for
opposed to
6
someone else.
generations versus
That
nameless
should not be
business
taken
company. Unfortunately, that's meaningful, but it can't be meaningful to us in terms of making a decision. So I get your desire and I share that, quite
Yeah,
honestly.
and I definitely don't want to discriminate against anybody
Yeah.
and pick and choose who can and can't. I just like to have a level playing field.
I feel like item D and E in the RFP reservation and selection kind of covers that. It's making sure it's in the best interest, public interest, best development for the property. We're not making necessarily who is doing it, but making sure that it's in the best interest of those around, I think is what we're looking at, right? So, I think that's the only fair way we can do it, and no matter who is doing it, as long as it's within the best interest. We're not gonna make something outside the box as far as, you know, you put apartment building up or anything. I mean, this is something that will be cohesive within current landscape, if you will, of the other homes, and to do whatever type of remodeling.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's gotta be within the already zoned, single family
Right,
constraints.
right. So I think fair, as far as we can be.
I've said all I can say. I think
Now
I
you
spoke
can
my
take a
mind.
vote.
So now we'll ask for roll.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Dvorak, Anderson,
No.
Vogel.
Moving on to number 7, business items. A, budgeted fiscal year 22-23 Northeast Trunk Sewer Study with Snyder and Associates in the amount of $19,426. Take a motion, please.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Then we'll ask for roll call, please.
Dvorak,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Vogel. Yes. Sarchet.
Yes.
Walters.
Abstain. I want to make a comment, if I could. I've been up here too long. I remember when the project only cost that much, not the study.
Times change. Business items B, third reading of ordinance 2022-1200, rezoning portions of the Lilliscow property located west of Northwest 44th Street. A motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Then we will ask for roll call vote.
Sarchet.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Dvorak,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Vogel.
Moving on to item number 8, reports and particulars. We'll begin with any staff or comments. See lots of shaking heads there.
Mayor, I've got 2 things tonight. One, the summer 2022 program brochure for Parks and Rec went live today. So if you haven't already, please check that out online. Registration opens for Polk City residents next Monday and non-residents the following Monday.
Second edition.
Yes, round 2, here we go. And then also the newly formed Polk City Friends of the Parks nonprofit are holding their first fundraising event on Saturday, April 23rd, a 5K family run walk to coincide with Earth Day, the benefits of which they would like to go towards a shade structure at Leonard Park. So I'm a big fan of this group already. I think they're going to do great things for our park system. So if you can run or you can walk, come on down to the square that day and please participate with them.
I can do both, just not very far or very fast.
We'll take it.
Thank you, Jason. Anyone else? Nope. How about you,
I
Chelsea?
have nothing.
Okay. Any comments from the council? Anything to add?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I do want to go back to the budget, and I know we talked about it last time, but to the extent that anybody's still listening and didn't hear that last time or earlier, I do think that, so there's a lot of work in the budget, and don't take lightly the raising of the levy rate. And I know there's other factors, and appreciate how well it's covered, and round 2 of me whining about the convoluted nature of property taxes in Iowa. But the long and short of it is we are raising the levy rate, and again, don't take that with anything other than the weight that a decision like that should make. And as Chelsea appropriately listed out, the number 1 project, and if you want to cut it up this way, the reason for the raise is a proposed new facility in parking lot, and I'm anxious to see what that's going to be. We don't yet know exactly how that's going to work, but it's a big step. It's something that I think is needed on a number of fronts. We want to be able to manage our emergency services personnel the best we can, and that's a step in that direction. How that looks and the feedback that we get is $1 million or $2 million, whatever question. And again, once we get there, it will be something that, as evidenced by what was shown tonight, we appropriately communicated, appropriately discussed. So looking forward to that. The other thing I did want to bring up is the festival, and there's some discussions about that and what we have, and I do think that there's an opportunity, given how got new friends of the Parks Committee, but I think there's also an opportunity for people to get more involved in the festival and how that goes. So if there is anybody that is willing, I don't know, direct staff or myself or Bridget or how to do that, but want to get people plugged in and want to make sure that we're holding as best festival as we can. I know coming off the COVID pause, 2 years ago, and then with an abbreviated planning period last year affected things in a number of ways. But that's I have a lot of passion and have seen a lot of gatherings, and that's my favorite one of them all. So if other people want to be a part of whatever that looks like in preparation or in working, whatever it takes, I just want to. That's all I have.
Okay, great, thank you. Just one comment, Bridget, and maybe you can help me with this. We have a check presentation tomorrow night, don't we?
Yeah, we have 2 of them tomorrow night. Steve's coming, you're all invited if you'd like to come. Tomorrow night, the foundation will be presenting 2 checks to the police and the fire department out front at 6 o'clock for some of the funds raised through the gala event that was held in January.
Thank you, Bridget. Anything else? Nothing else. I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned till March 28th. Thank you, everybody.